again. I expect that this will be for the full tour day, and as it's windy, the wind seems to be coming out of the north, I'll probably make the right and go north through East Grand Forks and then south through Grand Forks on the way back down. And we'll pick up. I have had a chance to look at some footage from the other narrated trip and found that I made a miscalculation when I was in my zeal to prepare for this ride and deleted some stills that I took. So I'll also be correcting for that. That said, this is Saturday, September 21st, 2024. So last time I talked a little bit about the trees, the houses, and the squirrels. And so this time I don't want to talk about those again. Those are all experts on it by now. So the other event in my life is I signed up for Medicare Part B yesterday, and I'll be retiring shortly. I'll no longer have the benefit of a employer-sponsored health care program. The government-sponsored one, which is to say, the one that you get to pay for, like I've been paying for other people for a long time. She's gonna let me go. Now, I do not want to be political at all. There's other people out there, and they're really good at talking about politics, and I'm not one of them, so I don't want to do it. I think you should do what you're good at. But without being political about it, I will say the whole Social Security and Medicare thing is really a mess. Not intuitive at all. But I'm navigating my way through it. I'm sure it'll be fine in the end. It's just more of a hassle than really could be justified, considering what you get out of the deal. Which isn't bad. One way to deal with the problem, I suppose. So the one benefit I can see is if you've got your MySSN account set up, you can see how much money you made throughout your life. In my case, since I was 15, so a little over 50 years worth of work and contributions to those programs. And I can also look at what I did for myself over those 52 years. And I can compare and contrast. In my case, I would have been better off doing all those Social Security and Medicare payments into my own system. I had better returns than they did. But that's just me. Because I'm smart? Well, maybe. Or maybe I'm just lucky. Who knows? That I cannot measure. Meanwhile, I'm not your financial analyst or visor. Shouldn't treat me as such. Tell you what I think. You do what's right for you. So last time I changed my camera angle to give you a view of the grand homes up here on Belmont. I have had a chance to look at the raw footage of that. And I'm not going to do it this time. I'm going to point at it. You can watch that video if you really want to see them. As with most things, reality is a lot different than the picture. But I am turning this way, which is not normal for me because in my zeal to make room on the camera for this footage, I deleted some stills that I took on that one, and I really do want to get those stills. Hopefully I'll remember places I need to stop and take a still shot. Yeah, definitely wind out of the north. It's really easy going south today. Here's that deer crossing that I alerted you to in the other video if you watched it. You couldn't tell from the raw footage as I know now. There it was. And there are deer around here. This is what we call heavy traffic here in Grand Forks. And actually wait for other cars to pass.
Sorry.
Morning. No, it's my fault. I was in the wrong lane. Everybody says sorry around here. It's kind of like Canada. Even when they didn't do anything. Kind of a habit. Sort of like saying, how you doing? You don't really care. And I got the north wind. And the first picture that I need to stop collect is up here, and that'll tell you the story of the trees. How they got most of the ones here in Greenway got planted back in, I think, 2005 it says. Let's see here. Yeah, 2008. All right, I'm gonna take a picture. Alright, I finally got it. I'm still getting used to the equipment. Speaking of equipment, I changed up my mount. Got some new parts. Like the last one, I kept losing footage because the camera was coming out of position because of where you sit. So in the bike relative to the camera. You can't really tell until you actually look straight down, which I'm usually looking ahead to make sure I don't run into anything. Hopefully this one will work out better. Morning.
11:30.
Yeah, that north wind is nice right now. Sounds windy. Yeah, I think it's mostly up in the trees and behind me. Coming back is going to be a struggle. You see the leaves skittering around. Dogs up ahead. You'll see them shortly. Here they come. There may have been some trees right along the edge of the river. I don't know. Perhaps. I have it. Oh. Luckily, there's sailplanes, so I'm good at a crosswind. You might wonder, I always go through the grass on these when I can. It seems to me that's where it's smoothest. I've tried both. You got no choice. Life's like that. You got no choice. So we keep moving. sign out. Couldn't really read it. Didn't have time. Busy looking for traffic. Jogger up ahead. Waiting here. For my boss, or actually not my boss, more like my landlord at work, who is now a member of Grand Forks City Council. They had some signs up for him there. I guess they're a politically involved house. Again, I don't want to get into the politics of it. I actually don't even know for sure what his politics are. We haven't really discussed it too deeply. Pretty good guy. I think he'll do well. Very political as far as how he operates. I don't know, good or bad way. It's just, if you're going to be a politician, act like a politician. And I'm going to get up here and I'm going to cut this. I gotta turn around. That's not very scenic. Pretty disappointing, really. Okay, back again. Check out those clouds. They are noticeably moving across the sky here. So there's obviously some pretty good winds aloft going on. Not too terrible down here on the surface, but yeah, it's windy, kinda. I mean, it's North Dakota, it's really windy here. And now I have that much anticipated headwind to contend with, so this is a bit of a struggle. Basically in an ascent here just to fight it. out in front of them. To see what those signs say, but I kept having to run and look in front of me again. Couldn't quite get a lock on them. I suspect they're selling pumpkins. My neighbor sells pumpkins. He would give them away, but he uses them to teach his granddaughters how to run a store. It's like a store is bad. Barbershop. So, knows a lot about running stores. He's retired now. I guess you can rent a plot somewhere around here to grow your own vegetables. So, come over and give me cucumbers. He used to give pumpkins away, but because the granddaughters got to the point where they need to learn how to run a store, letting them sell them for $5. I guess that's not as bad for pumpkins. I use them for first off, air fry the seeds. You do that up in some seasoning. They make a pretty handy snack. And then I roast the actual pumpkin. But I'll tell you, you want to make a pumpkin pie or something like that, you need pumpkin pureed. Just buy it. It ain't worth the effort. Getting to be that season. Morning. to sit and look at the trees. Very pleasant. Done it numerous times. Maybe we'll come over here when I'm walking sometime. I'm not sure how interesting that video would be, but you never know. May not be obvious because I think this camera is pretty good at stabilizing the video. But yeah, I'm kind of struggling to stay on a straight line here. And struggling to move forward at all. Roughly 10 miles an hour, which is approximately 15 kilometers per hour if you're metric. And that's all I can do. Conversions. I looked at my weather station on the way out. It was 66 Fahrenheit, and that works out to, let me do the math quickly in my head here. About 17 or 18 Celsius, something like that. Again, you have a calculator, correct me in the comments. And I'm just doing it in my head. Either way, it's pleasant. Doesn't really matter exactly. The temperature's pleasant. It's windier than that. No snowmobiles. Snowmobiles here in the Greenway. And I mean, they don't come out here. And it's pretty terrifying when they do. I wish they wouldn't. In all honesty, though, they typically stay off the trail. So if you're out here walking, not much of a problem. But they do cross-country ski in some areas here. We haven't got the cross-country skiing routes laid out yet, but I don't know if they have them over here. I don't know how to cross-country ski. I don't know how to do any kind of skiing. I grew up in ski country. When I was in Norway, we had one of the other guys on the boat was hanging out with some Norwegian lady, and the topic of skiing came up. And he said, "Oh, you know how to ski?" And she said, "Everyone in Norway knows how to ski." And that's my best Norwegian accent I come up with, and I know it's horrible. I mean, no disrespect. I was just doing my best. Provide an accurate quote. And it's probably true. They invented it. After all. And given the large number of people of Norwegian descent here in this area, I'm a little surprised that you got a lot of people out here cross-country skiing. They sure aren't going to be downhill skiing. have in sight here is the levee. And that isn't much of a downhill slope. I have a white trailer approaching. Upside is when I'm coming south. I will be flying unless the wind gets out or switches around. That's pretty my luck. When it switches around, I'll have like a 20-mile-an-hour headwind toward traffic, and then I'll be bummed. Speaking of Norway, those are blue spruce, which are native of Colorado. We also have some Norway spruce around here. I don't know what the non-blue spruces are there. We got the blue ones because they're blue. Kinda. In my experience in my little yard, the Norway spruce are much more resilient than the blue spruce around here. That's not everyone's experience. Your mileage may vary. That's my experience. I had to remove a couple of blue spruce from my yard. They were gone. Of course, I don't know the full story either. They might have been much older than my Norway spruce. I have two. One blue spruce. And it's massive. And I have a Norway maple, which does not provide maple syrup. But it looks like a maple tree. And that's what counts. Good shade tree for sitting under and reading a book. Which I intend to do more of when I'm tired. Oh, I did put a bench out for that very purpose. I think I've only got to do that twice. Problem if you're a golfer. There seems to be golfers out have nothing against puffins. They're nice birds. If anything, it's a title of honor. To be associated with the noble puffin. Here's the river. Can't see it, but it is underneath this bridge. I can see it, but because of geometry, you can only see the sides of the bridge. I did get a picture from on top of the other pedestrian bridge north of here. That's going to be available somewhere for comparison. Your general thoughts. Should you be interested in that sort of thing? Just checking the camera position. It looks like it's still in position. Shaking around a lot. So if this video doesn't seem to be shaking around a lot, that would be an example of the GoPro's magnificent stabilization process. I'm not sure if that can be turned off. Probably can be, but it wouldn't be intuitive. I've learned that from trying to figure out how to do everything else on my camera. It's like probably second nature for zoomers, but not for me. I grew up with buttons. And those buttons did one thing. Didn't have any of this spike. Push the button, something happened. Another button and something stopped happening. And that's how I go. I understand technology advances, time marches on, but you get to, you can't really unlearn. It's not the way the human mind works. We'll see what I mean if you haven't already. It's not a willful thing, it's just your nature. So I saw this video about deja vu. I thought I had seen it before, but it turns out I had not. And they presented some theories that the reason you feel deja vu is because of the way the mind processes new information. Sometimes it gets confused with old information and it treats it as old information, so you feel like it's memory even though it's new. It's a fascinating theory. I'm not sure how you would test it, so maybe it's not really a theory, maybe more of a hypothesis, but you get the point. Something fun to talk about. Now, got a headwind again. And heading almost due east. So I guess what I should say is the wind is all over the place today. You might be able to see from the trees up ahead what kind of winds we got going on. Not killer winds, but noticeable. change in my relative approach to the wind. If I'm doing my job, you can't tell by looking, but it is kind of a struggle to ride in this kind of wind. You can see some grass up there flopping around. An idea of how windy it is in those trees. Don't forget the trees. Now we call this cumulonimbus. Looks like they were cumulus for the big puffy ones, but cumulus have concave bottoms. And these do not have concave bottoms, they have kind of raggedy bottoms. So they're closer to a rain cloud than a cumulus cloud. Nimbus being a full-on rain cloud. That would be in line with the light little bit of rain we got this morning, I think, but I'm not a meteorologist. Just a former salesman driver. Some nice flowers over there, very pretty. You can see the waving amber waves of grain. Well, not amber, they're green. Oh, gray green, I guess. Not brown, not yet. Some of it's brown. Still roughly the solstice, so I guess we're technically on the verge of fall, astronomically speaking. Meteorologically, we entered fall on the 1st of September, but I don't believe any of that. Because what's important to me is it's windy and not too cold. You would not want to ride in this kind of wind if it were wet. Caterpillar, or maybe a gaboon viper, a really tiny one. They move kind of like caterpillars. Much more dangerous though. I don't think we have any gaboon vipers here. Not native to the area. Then again, neither are trees. Didn't just puncture my tire. And we take a break over here before the most terrifying part. Can't even get up on the bike here. There we go. Turn off my starboard side. Because I don't want to be dealing with crossing that bridge, this wind, being any even slightly physically uncomfortable. So I'll be right back. the opportunity to take a couple of still shots. Somebody's selling some land over in Montana. If you're interested in picking up a few acres over in Montana, give them a call. Meanwhile, now we're looking forward to what I like to call the most terrifying part of the ride. Especially terrifying windy days. I just feel like I'm going to get blown off in traffic. So, for today, what I'm going to do is cross over to the other side and cross over there, because then at least the wind would be blowing me away from traffic rather than into it if I'm about to fall off onto the road. It does have the disadvantage of having to negotiate some tricky traffic up ahead. And I gotta get up on the bike into the wall without looking. Now, carefully negotiate the bridge. A rather stiff wind in my face. Relatively fearless, and if you're watching this, you know I made it. Otherwise, how would you be watching it? Is subsiding a bit. The reason I crossed over is because it seems like you're a lot more likely to run into oncoming traffic on the other sidewalk. I'd rather not do that. So now is the part that I don't like, just getting across this fairly major road here. Balls getting across. A little bit to get back onto the bike trail. And we did it. The road is closed, but we're not really going on the road. Could have come in that way, which would prove my point, but going up there and making that trek across is a little more terrifying than what I did. So, anyway, made it safely. Here we go. And yeah, it's just as windy over here in Minnesota as it was. Rather windy and challenging. And I have not had lunch yet, and it's almost worth it. I always turn this thing on for select the option of places, and it's supposed to like identify places. I don't know how that works, so it may not work, or it may just not be any identifiable places here. And tell you we're coming up on that trestle. So there are trains crossing that trestle. Not today. going the way I'm going. See, they've ripped it all up. I wouldn't go that way with this bike. I'd be okay with another kind of bike. This one's not very good on the loose dirt. Made for pavement. That identification thing and it worked here. And over there is the Blue Moose. The Blue Moose, if you don't know, is a place in East Grand Forks. Now you know. There's also a boardwalk and some other interesting restaurants. That is Gateway. I'm not absolutely sure. Yeah, I think it is. It must be Gateway. I never go this way. I've only been to the Blue Moose like twice. It's the Blue Moose over there to the right. Maybe you can see it. Stewardess Boardwalk. I think I've been to Boardwalk too. Bike repair station's got some wrenches on it. I don't know if it's got any parts, tubes or anything like that. Kind of useless though, because unless you have your bike flat, like within sight of one of these things, there's another one, then what are you going to do? I mean, unless you've memorized where they are, you can't say, well, I know there's bike repair stations around the corner up there. If you got the map, though, they're on the map. Let's say walk-in campsites. Maybe they do have. Maybe they have tents down there, over to the left. I could get in this guy's slipstream up here and take a little break. I don't think that deal paid off. It's like I had to work a little extra to get caught up with that guy, and I didn't get to be in his slipstream for more than 30 seconds. Not a good deal at all. I got ripped off. See, if he cared about me, he would have gone ahead and pulled me all the way up to where get turned around and this headwind turns into a tailwind. No, he didn't want to do that. So I lose again. Oh well. Ain't the first time. Doesn't seem to be coming out of position, so I think the problem was that other mount that I was using. I had it tightened down as much as I could, and still dipped down, be looking straight down. So we lost some otherwise good footage and some lighting narration. That would be the Red Lake River. And the actual confluence of the Red River in the north and the Red Lake River is off there somewhere to the kind of northwest, I guess. Left. Our hairpin turn. Worst nightmare, which would be that the wind turns around and I ended up facing that headwind on the way back too. That doesn't seem to be happening. We'll be crossing the river back into North Dakota here shortly. And this will be the Red River in the north that we cross, being north of the confluence. Or the fork, as they say, gives the town its name. It's kind of fork like they divide up, come together. It seems kind of backwards. I'm thinking about is how there aren't any squirrels out today. I got no explanation for that. I would think, given that it's solstice, roughly, squirrels would be all over the place. They're kind of like druids. bit of rise, but hey. Solstice territory yet, we're in equinox territory. And this is the bridge over to North Dakota. Pedestrian on the right. We might catch them. Depends on if they head down to the boat ramp that you can't see over to the right. Blending in with the foliage. There's a bike. We're going to get it on the trail at some point, maybe. I don't have another bike I saw. Maybe they get out. No, it wasn't a bike. It was a backpacker. Dangerous. It was dangerous back there, but I had no choice but to go over into the left lane because the backpacker was like walking in the middle of the road. And I didn't want to pass on the right. So, you take your risks. Do the best. Take it slow. Good rest area, but I don't need to rest right now. I think I can make it. That until we get to the stop sign up here, which ought to be a yield sign. You can tell, I mean, you can already probably see, look over to the left, if there were any bikes over there, you would see. You can easily see them. You can easily see any oncoming traffic. way before you get to the stop sign. And they would see you as well. Why is that a stop sign? Yes, it is really nice with the tailwind. And here we're coming up to that gateway or whatever that is. One or the other. Actually, I think this was the gateway. Further north. I think there's a plaque here. Tell me in the comments if you want a picture of that plaque. We had a thing on Wikipedia, I believe it was. We love monuments. I tried to put a picture of our monument, our flood monument, up there, but it was a real hassle. Join and all kinds of stuff. I just wanted to post a picture, so I didn't do it. It's kind of gray. I am wearing tinted glasses, so probably not as gray as I think it is. There is a plaque up here that I think I'm going to stop and collect a picture of, use somewhere as I try to master my video editing software. Oncoming bike. Am I gonna beat him? Yes, I am. All three plaques. Over here. Hey, look. The river is flowing south right now, which is not the way it usually goes. That's probably a tribute to the high winds that we're having right now. Turn the river around backwards. But at any rate, yeah, let's take a small break while I take some pictures. go. Captured 3 pictures of some plaques that I have not actually ever stopped to read. And I didn't really read them then. It was about the railroad and flood of 1896, which was a big one. Not as big as the flood of 97. I don't know if we'll be able to see it, but the trestle they're talking about, or the pivot over on the left, it's been replaced by this trestle. If you could see that. But at any rate, no, that's not trestle. That would be the nerves. The trestle is further down, but the story's the same. Replaced with a trestle. You can see it's got like wheels on the bridge. The river floods and moves back and forth. And there you can see 1897 flood. It was pretty high. 1997, much higher. So I thought it was 1897. Well, it would have been due to the winter of 1896. I didn't explain it well the last time. The way it works, as I mentioned, it's unusual today. The river seems to be flowing to the south, which is not the way it usually goes. It usually goes south to north. And that's the way the snow melts. So Canada is still frozen. It forms like an ice dam, and as all that snow melts way down south, it can't go further north, so it stops here. And that's when we get floods. And it has always been the case. Well, as long as anybody's lived here and cared. I also collected a picture earlier about pre-European, the native peoples. They also hung out around here. It's always an important place. Well, you got confluence of 2 fairly big rivers. Red River in the north is quite a big river. A long way. And if that is going to be important to anybody, they're going to make a boat. Especially if you want to go north. Except on windy days, you might get to go south. Without too much friction. Yeah, they used to have river boats come by here. It doesn't happen anymore. They're obsolete. Railroads are way cheaper. Carry a lot more stuff. Here comes a skater. break if you want to. I don't want to today. I have stopped there. I stopped there for my last long ride. I just stopped there and had lunch. Swatted off the lost snow and eaten peanut butter sandwich. This is a stop sign that makes sense. There's cars coming. And if you're on a bicycle, you are effectively invisible. There is a car coming, but they're pretty far away. Easily make it across. 4% grade. With tailwind should be okay for fast out through here. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. 21, 24 would be like 36, I think. Let me think about that again. 30, 24. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Give us the right number, please. It's important for people who don't speak both measurement systems. Having lost a Mars probe to somebody who didn't speak both measurement systems. It wasn't my miscalculation. It's not on that program. I don't know who it was. I'm sure they got a stern talking to the that's where we made it right. Still no golfers today, though. Probably too windy for golf, I would guess. Gotta be, there probably is somebody. I think I see a car up there. It could just be people out jogging now. Joggers. If they're jogging. Appropriate before they fixed this up here. They fixed here, and they fixed up there all that fresh asphalt. As I've said before, earlier, asphalt and concrete is no match for what's coming. Especially as I'm heading home. wondering about how I know how fast I'm going, I do have a computer. And I have calibrated it so it should be accurate to within a tenth or so. I actually use a method that's more accurate than the standard one, which means that I'm probably still within a tenth. But, you know, when you're me, you can squeeze everything that you can out of everything you work. At this point, will probably be it for the narration. We're back in the city streets. And I don't know when I'll run out of room, but it'll be soon.